なんだっけ抹茶なんとか
抹茶カフェ何個か
何が美味しいって？
インスタグラムでなんか抹茶餅ワッフルあるし、あとソフトクリームあるし、
一番映えるのがいいんじゃない？ So now we're talking about Asian hate crime.
So have you experienced any?
No, none.
Right? Okay, I haven't either. But I saw a video of someone who posted it
about
like they
crime?
were waiting in line for like postal something, and this white lady was standing right next to the Asian lady and her kid, and was saying like, "I'm gonna stab you with my car keys."
What?
Yeah, like to her face.
That's crazy.
With her kid sitting right next to her. Her kid was like borderline crying because I was scared she was.
That's crazy.
But like, I don't think it's as common in Houston. I think it's more towards like places that aren't as diverse.
Right,
you know,
right.
I mean, I'll never experience it because I don't look Asian.
そうなのよ。だからさ、I was wondering because you half white, half Asian.
Yeah.
Do you experience it?
No, I experience more Mexican discrimination than anything.
Oh, so.
I got called a stupid Mexican at work.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even Mexican. So.
I mean, you look Mexican, so.
I get called Mexican a lot.
All the time, bro.
All the time. It's an identity crisis.
So you just, people assume that you're Hispanic and then discriminate against you?
I don't know. I mean, some people, yeah, but others, I don't know. Because the people who did that at my job, they were black. And it was because I put lemon in the water and they didn't specify they didn't want lemon. So he threw it at me and he was like, "You stupid Mexican, can you miss me water?" I was like, wow. I was like, God.
These people are so rude.
Because they feel entitled when they enter a restaurant. They think
That's
that
so
we're like not
sad.
even people. They kind of forget that.
So you don't, because you don't look Asian, you don't experience like discrimination or something?
Except for people who like know I'm Asian, they'll make jokes.
Yeah.
You know, like just
Everybody
racial
does,
jokes.
right?
But no, I've never experienced like someone hating on me because I'm Asian.
Also, do you feel scared with this like current climate?
I mean, like I said, I don't think it's as common in Houston, like around our area, especially. We live in like an area where it's so diverse and everything. There's so many of us. Like, if you want to jump on one, there's gonna be 10 jumping at you, you know. So I'm not as scared as here.
So you're now a bartender, officially bartender, or? Yeah.
I don't have a license.
Okay, but you're serving alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Is it better than working as a waiter?
Some nights.
I heard that you don't really come back home till really late because you work.
Oh yeah, there was one night I didn't get home till 1:30 in the morning.
1:30 in the morning?
Yeah. Basically, I was bartending a Friday night and it was super busy, like crazy busy, and I was getting hit. Like everyone else was slow. I was.
You were the only one
because I have 3 tables, and normally a bar has 1 table and then the bar.
Right.
I had 3, and the entire night my bar was full. Like every time someone got up, a new one sat down. It was like consistent. And my tables were the same way because I only have 3, so they were consistently getting filled. On top of taking care of my tables and my bar, people bringing in drinks for me to make. So I was rushing to do all those, and then getting my tables taken care of. I've never been so stressed from a rush before. Like.
You even had a like sexual harassment type of thing.
Multiple times.
Multiple times?
Multiple times. Yeah, that's so common in restaurants here in America.
Seems like the people were kind of like giving up on it. You know?
They don't care.
Right, exactly.
They don't care. Because I had one guy, he was a cook. And thank God he got fired, not because of the situation.
Cook?
One of the cooks.
Not a customer?
No. I've had a customer too, but you can't do much about a customer.
So what happened to that?
Well, it's really common with cooks. And what they'll do, this is a really common thing they'll do, is give you food and the free food, and they expect something in return.
What?
Yeah. And they don't say that, but like, you know, they're like, oh, come on, you know, I always do stuff for you, and you know. But the thing is like this one cook, first off, they're all normally married with kids, and they always do this stuff. It's really gross. And this one guy in particular I used to work with, he was a cook, and he was very touchy with me, like all the time. I'd be in the back rolling, and he'd like try to grab me by the waist and like hold me or touch my hands. He even like force-fed me food at one point, like into my mouth, because that was before COVID, so we didn't have masks.
Wow. Thank God we have masks.
And then one time he even like tried to pull me into the walk-in fridge, like by my wrist. Like he grabbed me and like pulled me into the fridge. but he got fired because he was drinking during the job, not because of what happened to me, because I didn't even know what to say.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that stuff is so common. It happens all the time.
I see.
And then I had a customer recently, bar guest. I don't know if I told you about that.
Mm-mm.
There was a guy who came to my bar and like he's like a very like smart ass mouth. Like, very, very like, oh, I know everything. And so he was asking me stuff about the steaks that we serve. And I was like, okay. And he was asking me about the Delmonico, which is like a type of ribeye steak, but it's like a prime ribeye, so it's aged for a few days before you serve it. So it's really tender. It's a really nice steak to have. But he kept telling me like, no, it's not a ribeye. It's a mix between two steaks. And I was like, I'm telling you what I learned from the book. This is what they said we were supposed to know. That's what I know. Like, that's it. And I even asked my managers, and they said the same thing. So we ordered the food, and he's telling me like he's a food connoisseur and he loves trying new foods and how he goes to all these fancy steakhouses. I was like, then why are you here? Yeah, he's eating and he's like, oh yeah, I love making food and blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh really? It's like I like baking. You know, I have to seem interested because I gotta make my money too. So.
Most Erica comment I ever received. Erica is comment.
I gotta make my money too. I was acting all interested. I was like, oh okay, like what do you make? What's your favorite thing to make? And stuff like that. And he was telling me like this really over the top steak. Where he was like, wait, this steak with Habano peppers, then he stuffs it in the oven, and he puts it on the grill, and then he stuffs it back in the oven, and all this like crazy random shit. I was like, okay, you could easily just keep it in the oven the entire time. Anyways, so he was telling me the whole thing. He was just so extra for no reason, and he ended up he went to this like really fancy steakhouse. Super fancy. I don't know what the name of it was. And he was like, oh yeah, and I asked them to make it for me. I told them exactly how to do it, and they said that they wanted to put it on their menu because of how good it was.
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Interesting. So he's just one of those people that none of us like, because they talk so much, which is fine. But when you come up with like a smart,
really good at like dealing with those kind of people that kind of
when I need to.
Exactly. You can act like you're interested in that person.
Like but but the guy was like, and they were like, oh wow, so like that must be really cool and whatever. And but the entire time he was there, he was questioning about all the foods, what we cook it in, and blah blah blah. Which is really smart. I hated it. I was like, oh my god, can you leave already? And towards the end, I was like, oh yeah, so you like to cook? I like to bake. I was like, I'm learning how to cook, but I'm still not really great at it, And I said, like, I like to bake, and he. This is where things go south, because then he said.
Till then was fine though. Yeah?
I mean, I was annoyed because he's annoying, but nothing was over the line yet. Nothing was there yet. Until we were talking, and I was saying I like to bake, and he said, that makes a lot of sense. I said, what do you mean? He's like, okay, and he kind of comes close to me. He's like, don't take this offensively, okay?
Wow, every time people say don't take this offensive, they always say
no offense, don't take offensive. He says, you have a really fat ass.
Oh my god.
He's like, it's probably because you bake so much. He's like, you have a nice fat ass. He's like, but it's a good thing. And I was like,
wow.
And then the entire time he was there, after saying that, that's all he mentioned. That's all he talked about the entire time. The entire time.
Are you serving him or he?
This was at the bar.
At the bar. So
he was at the bar eating, and I was just behind the bar. Okay. And the thing that sucks is because normally with tables you can just go away, walk away, and just avoid it. But the problem with the bar is you have to be there and take care of them, and not even just take care of them. But when I get tips from other tables and stuff, I have to enter them into that computer behind the bar. I can't use the other ones because you have to manually take it out of the drawer. Sure. So I had to go back every time and talk to him. And at one point, I was doing good. I had a streak. I was avoiding him for like a good 20 minutes, and I had to go back. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were ignoring me." I was like, "Oh no, I just got really busy in the bag. I couldn't come back up here." I was like, we were having such a great conversation and everything too. I was like,
it's very impressive. That's like a textbook level of like how to deal with those people.
You learn it in high school. You learn how to deal with fake people in high school. That's a trick.
So good.
At least the high school I went to. But yeah, so and then he would not shut up about my butt the entire time he was there.
Wow.
And then he started asking other servers, and me included, about my hours and when I was there, and when he could come see me and weird stuff. And he left, and I told my managers, and they were like, next time he comes in, I'm gonna kick his ass. They were like, that's it. He's not allowed back in here. It's like, great, perfect. Don't want to deal with him anyways. So, yeah, a lot of stuff like that happens.
And do you work every weekend?
About.
At the bar?
At least once a week on bar. Some weeks are more, some weeks are less. Sometimes I won't work depending if it's like a holiday.
Okay.
Like Mother's Day's coming up, and sometimes they'll put like the more experienced bartenders in because they can handle it a little better.
How long have you been working there for?
Over 2 years now.
あ、そうだよね。もう長いよね。
Yeah. But
So you're more experienced one?
yeah. Well, not as bar, but more the servers. They like having me on the floor for holidays because I can handle like 6-7 tables at a time and not be super stressed. Versus some of our newer servers who can't handle 2.
That's true.
So
I probably would not be able to handle 2.
I mean, I took a party of 25 the other day by myself.
25?
It was supposed to be 16. And we originally had 4 servers on it, but I basically took it by myself.
Was that one that didn't pay for the meal?
No, that was a long time ago, and that was a party of 45. It started off as a 20 top, and it turned to 45 people, and they just kept coming and coming and coming.
And then didn't pay for that.
It just turned into a point where we couldn't separate the checks fast enough because I was just helping, and there was someone else taking all the orders, so all the orders got mixed up. And then because people kept coming in, people were like, oh, I'm gonna cover their check and their drinks. It just got too confusing. And they were like literally at the kitchen door, like yelling at the manager. We just had to like say, okay, whatever. And $200 something dollars. Yeah, $200 worth of food just gone.
Wow.
That was stressful.
Wow.
There's nothing we could have done.
I saw that the waiter got. I feel bad for them.
But the thing is like, because everything got comped, all the cash they gave me for payment turned into my tips.
Oh, yay!
I made like a good $270 that entire night because of their tips and everything.
That's actually
tips. They would not have tipped otherwise. Right.
Like that's why like being a waitress or a waiter.
Sucks.
Yeah. Sometimes, someday you do really well, but some days like you don't make none.
Yeah. We did implement a new system now, also, which is great. So we do get paid $13 an hour. That normally gets taxed out.
Okay.
But if one of the days that we work falls short of if you would have worked $10 an hour, and like you didn't make that amount of tips, they'll compensate and pay you.
Oh.
But you have to make under that.
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll compensate you up to what $10 an hour would have been.
Makes sense.
It's so much stress.
You have to deal with people's crap.
Surprised I don't have like gray hair just like
everywhere. Wow.
People are mean.
Especially working as a waiter, you experience people that are like seriously terrible.
I hate when people leave change on the table because then it jingles in your pockets all day. Like that's one thing I think I would lose my mind. Like if Japanese places did tip, because you know you have like 100 yen, which is $1's worth, and then you know if they just put 5 of those or like the $500 yen, you literally have so much change. You know you have to literally have a coin purse on you at all times to keep it.
And it's jingling.
It just jingles. I would lose it. I would lose it.
That's right.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking